Hi, welcome. Hi, squirrel, you are lurking, I guess. Hi, DJ, welcome. As always, hi, squirrel, I will. Lurking, I guess. Hi, DJ, welcome. As always, hi, squirrel, I will. Lurking, I guess. Hi, DJ, welcome. As always, hi, squirrel, topic. Lurking, I guess. Hi, DJ, welcome. As always, hi, squirrel, topic. Lurking, I guess. Hi, DJ, welcome. I know. I got the echo off, I hope. There we go. I am in the middle of making a series about Gmail, and while researching that, I have been thinking a lot about email and the function of email and how we set it up and what we use, what provider we use, what client we use for our email, how we handle spam. And I also been thinking about email versus texting, for example. I am so old, so I remember a time where we didn't have email and we definitely didn't have texting. The feeling when email started to be popular was something out of this world. You could write a mail to somebody and that person could have it within minutes. Instead of the traditional way, first taking the time to writing the mail, finding an envelope, finding a stamp, posting it, and then waiting for you never know how long before it reached the person. Email changed a lot. It made communication so much faster and effective. Today, I think for quick questions, we use texting more often. It's easy to just throw away a text and get a quick reply. But we still use email. And as I have gone through my inboxes, I have realized that most of my emails probably should be categorized as spam. And as I'm doing this series, I am really working on cleaning out my mailboxes and labeling things as spam that I don't want to see no more. This series has also made me start thinking about another part of what email brings. And what not just email, texting, communication online overall. And that is the question about spelling and grammar. I hope, DJ, that the echo is gone, Oh, I haven't even moved my... Can you hear me? I haven't even moved my microphone up. Look at me. That's a typical way for me to start a stream. I hope it's better now. I can see, especially among the younger generation that has grown up with email, texting, internet, how spelling has, let's stay with spelling has changed. Language changes all the time, but I think spelling has been quite affected by emailing and texting and online chatting. It is still an echo, or it... Hi Darian, welcome. Is the echo gone or is it still there, DJ? I hope it is gone. Magnificent Germany with Darian. I agree. I use Gmail as well. Thank you, Squirrel. And even though I use many different, I have my own website. So I have pixelpia.com. So I have a lot of email addresses under pixelpia.com. But I still get them all delivered to my Gmail. So I have everything in one place. And I have different mailboxes and different folders where they go to. But Gmail is definitely one of the best free providers, I must say. I have looked at providers and let me see if I can get this to work now. I found a website here that talked about the best free email account and service providers for this year. And unfortunately, it is a website overloaded with ads. That's the price you pay many times for free stuff. But let me share this. Hi, Gulf Coast Granny. Hope everything is well with you and welcome. Let me share this website. And as I said, it is not mine. But according to this website, guru99.com, they have listed the best free providers. And they have Proton Mail, which I know nothing about. They have Outlook, Soho Mail, HubSpot, and Gmail. And if we scroll down here, we have Gmail. They have others too. What they say about Gmail is it's a free email account service managed by Google. It allows you to send and receive emails. You can access Gmail using third-party programs that synchronize email details through IMAP or POP. I actually use it the other way around. I synchronize all my email from my other accounts into Gmail. Thank you, Granny. It's a little light that I can change color of. But since I don't have pink in my hair anymore, I decided that I have to have it. How do I point? No, there. I have to have it in the background, so I at least have some pink. So let me ask you people. Darian already said that you use Gmail. DJ says that I have multiple emails. I have Gmail. I have my Pixelpia.com, of course. I also have some old free. I have an AOL. I have an Yahoo. But I never ever use those. And I have started to have everything directed to my Gmail for several reasons. One is that I have several Gmail accounts that I use for. I have one for Pixelpia, one for Pixelpia Live. My little Noom channel has one. And because I have so many, it was easier to direct everything to Gmail. Another reason that I have everything on Gmail is how well it is integrated with the other applications in the Google universe. And I can, with ease, save notes, add things in my calendar, and all of that when I'm using Gmail. So let's see. What are you using? Hey, look, Squirrel, you are exclusively Gmail. Yeah, I'm getting there too. Actually, I really are getting more and more impressed with Gmail. Let me see. I have my coffee cup is so big so I can't see my things here. I have another website here. Why does it always end up at the bottom of it? Ooh. Who was that? Oh, that was some sound on the website. Oh, I don't like all these videos that they have on this website all the time. Let's see what I skip, add, and close. Here, I found it. Let me move it over here so we can share it. This, let's hide me for Granny agree with me. The integration of Gmail is fantastic. So here we have the website called softwaretestinghelp.com. That's softwaretestinghelp.com. And they had compared email providers. And according to them, as you can see here, Gmail is the best overall provider. They have HubSpot, but HubSpot is more for marketing. It's not free. Hi, welcome, James. Oh, you have a new avatar. Like it. I like it, James. And then they have Sendinblue, Outlook, Yahoo, Soho, AOL. And they have a couple more that is not in this table. So it looks like among the people that are here tonight, Gmail is the number one. Now, let me ask you, what clients do you use? And I mean, if you use any client or if it's strictly web-based. Because I am using web when I'm on my computer. And I am using... Darian, thank you for coming in. It's always nice to see you. I agree. It looks very zen. Let's go back to talk about clients. I use mostly when I'm on the computer, I use the web-based. But then I use, of course, I use the app. And I actually, for some reason, have a couple of email clients on my phone. So let's take a look here. And this website is actually not overloaded with commercials and videos. And so here we go. This is from a website called clean.email. And these are the best free email clients according to them. Mailbird is the first one, and that is for Windows. I have tried it. I was a little so-so. Thunderbird I have used. And that's for all. Thunderbird is for all system. Windows, Mac, Linux, and FreeBSD. They also suggest Postbox for Windows Mac, EM Client for Windows Mac, MailSpring for Windows Mac and Linux, Airmail Mac and iOS, Outlook for Windows and Mac OS, and I think that was all. Then they go through. And this is for the computers only. Oh, a client. It's the software you use to download your mail. If you don't use the web-based, you have on a cell phone. Oops, stop. I didn't mean to start music. On the cell phone, you use apps, but when you're working on your computer, they are called clients. So, for example, if you have Microsoft Outlook installed on your computer, that's an email client. So DJ Talks says you use stock client on mobile, web on the computer. I have on my computer, I have Outlook installed since I have the Microsoft Office package. But I think I had a couple of other clients installed on I have the Microsoft Mail, that's not the Outlook client, it's the Mail Express. Let me share this with you. And show you how a client can look. Wait, let me move it over to my other screen here and share it. This is the client called just Mail. And here is my Gmail. I only have my Gmail account on this one because I never use it anymore. But this will show one of the problems that I have found myself in that I'm now trying to correct. That is probably the web-based, unless you have downloaded a specific email app for your web, for your Chromebook. The web-based says DJ. One of the problems I have found myself in, since I use an app on my phone and then I use web, was that I didn't go in to settings and set it up to leave all the emails on the cloud, in the cloud, to leave it on Gmail. So it downloaded, and then I also had automatic download of email on my phone. And all of a sudden I started looking for emails that I know I had seen, and I was on the computer and I couldn't find them because I had downloaded them on my phone and didn't have it set so in a way so they still stayed in my Gmail account. So they were only living. I had it set so when I download, it took it off my Gmail account and just had it locally on my phone. So when I logged in on the computer, it wasn't there no more. That is something I now have corrected. So nothing gets downloaded on my phone. I know when I log in on the website to my Gmail, all the mail that I hadn't chosen to delete and completely delete are still accessible from my computer. But that took me a while to realize what the problem was. And since we are talking Gmail, let's go in here and I will share with you in just 1 second here so I find the right setting. There are so many settings in Gmail on the web. Conversation, smart reply. Where do I have it? I can't find it right now. Or maybe it was, wait. Is it under advanced? It is not. It's probably here under. Here it is. Let me share this. You see, I am in all settings under forwarding and pop IMAP. There is a setting here, pop download. When messages are accessed with pop account, keep Gmail's copy in the inbox. What I had here was, if you click the down arrow, you see delete Gmail's copy. So what happened was I downloaded something on my phone and I had it set to delete it on Gmail. So when I logged into my website, to the Gmail's website, I couldn't find my email that I know I had seen. because it was deleted the second I downloaded on my phone. So that can be a problem if you work with several accounts. And those were the emails that came to my Pixelpia account. I downloaded them here and then I couldn't find them in my Gmail anymore. I will talk more about that later on in my series about Gmail here, when we go really take a deep dive into Gmail's settings. We will talk about how you can add, if you have, I have, for example, my email address pia@pixelpia.com. That is on my server where I have my website and everything else. I have that account set up so it delivers to my Gmail. It doesn't deliver. It's if you send an email to my email address pia@pixelpia.com, it will send it to that web address, but I have that account as a separate account in my Gmail, if you understand what I mean. So I get them all on one website. I don't have to go to another client to find my Pixelpia email. So that is something I will talk about later on in my series. As I said initially, let's take a look at my current. Here is my current inbox, 177 emails in my inbox. Because what I did for this series, I had it set up with labels and everything set up. What I did to be able to film this series was I took all labels, all other accounts. If you look here, I don't even have, I have personal. That's the only label I have created myself. I don't even have my other accounts on here anymore. I just get them on my phone right now because I wanted to be able to make tutorials where I film all this and show you. And the reason I have so many emails here right now in a mess that's, I mean, it's not realistic. I have 2 pages of email here. It's not realistic to have a mailbox look like this because most of this I will probably mark as spam, or I will block the sender. And that's what you do with labels, which will be my video on Thursday. But right now I have everything showing up here in a mess because I took all those rules off. And this is not, I mean, I don't even have some of them marked as important mail, which I used to do. I used to have a lot of rules on in my mailbox that made it very easy to look at, very easy to find. I had certain things like when I paid for something with my PayPal, all of those emails never showed up in the inbox. They went straight from the inbox into a separate label with PayPal, and that's where they went. And that's one thing I will show you. So you don't even have to see them in the inbox. When you need to find your PayPal, you just go to that label. I had other things that I have subscription for, go to certain labels. And the good thing with labels is that you can actually, because I had quite a few labels, but you can search for emails using labels. So if I'm looking for a certain PayPal receipt, and I don't remember, for example, what the seller's name was, I have bought something, I can search for my label PayPal, and only my PayPal emails show up. I can also search using several criteria. I can search using 2 labels, because the difference between categories and labels is that each single email can have several labels. You can categorize this as one category. For example, it can be labeled as important, and that is its own category. But you can also use several labels in one email. So that's a very easy way to clean up your inbox, so it doesn't look like the one I just showed you. Now I almost got into Thursday's tutorial already. Of course, you can get the squirrel label, but then you have to start writing me a little bit more frequent, Tony, because it would be a pretty empty label right now. But I'm waiting for an email, so I will make a label, squirrel label from that. Another question about mailing in general. Do you guys use signatures in your mail? Do you have set up a signature? Or maybe several signatures? That's another thing I had set up, that I deleted all of them, and I will put them back in one of the upcoming videos. I have one signature for when I'm writing just to friends and family. That's very, hey son, hey, see you next time, or whatever I had in that. But then I have more official signatures. For example, I always have one signature that I can add to each email. That's my full name and address. If there is an email I write where I need that information at the end. I had label. I had signature created for when I write from as Pixelpia from my YouTube channel, Pixelpia Internet for Beginners. That was a little fancy with little decorations and things. So you can set up several signatures that are pre-made, and you just add them. Oh, I don't have a signature here. I can show you how it will be done. Let me share this. Here I have opened a new email that I'm going to send to Squirrel. I can't even spell squirrel. That's not your email address, but for fun. And then blah, 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 blah here. And then if you look down here in this formatting bars, no, under it, here you have a little pen, insert signature. And I have no signatures here, but when you have created them, they would show up here. So I have one signature called Pixelpia. I have one signature called my full name. And depending on who I'm writing to, I just pick the signature that fits for that email. And that is another thing that's really handy to use if you send a lot of email. But I don't send too many. Do you use email a lot? Are you sending email a lot? I'm sure all of you receiving emails a lot. I'm not the only one, I'm sure, that have an inbox looking like that. You sent your email first? Let me see. Did I get an email from you? Let's see. You didn't send to me? I hoped you sent me an email. I hope you don't. No. I don't see one. Let's double check so it's not in the spam folder. No, it's not. When did you send an email? Not to me. Oh, to pixelpia@pixelpia.com. I don't have that set up there. I have it on my phone. Oh boy. Well, I'm not gonna look for it now. I'm gonna look for it and I'm gonna give you a label when I have pixelpia.com set up. But if you want to send it now, send it to pixelpia@gmail.com and it will show up here right away, and I will give you your own label during the live stream. Oh, do I have that in my about section? That wasn't smart of me. I should change that. I didn't even realize that was in my about section. I thought I had my Gmail there. Let me go in and change that right away. Where do I have that? Let's change that right away. That was not what gmail.com I should have there. Oops. That is changed right away because I won't get those emails. Normally I would get them to my Gmail account in a separate mailbox. Ooh, someone beat you to it. I just got, let me share this, an email from DJ. So let me add a label here. DJ. Create new. DJ. Create. And move to. Wait, let's set up a rule. Where do we have? Filter letters like this. I'm gonna from create filter. apply the label DJ, skip the inbox, and create filter. So now if I go into my inbox, oh, there we have a squirrel too. Let's create a new label called squirrel. Create. Forward, no, apply the label squirrel, skip the inbox, and create filter. I'm refreshing. Why don't I have, yeah. So if I go into the filter DJ here, I will have all the emails. Or if I go into squirrel, I will have his email there. And I didn't set up the filter right. If I do it right, it won't even show up in my inbox. But I will see here that in squirrel I have something I haven't read yet because it is in bold. DJs I had open. Why didn't I move to squirrel? Move to DJ. I have to set that as a filter. And now they don't show up in my inbox, but they show up here. Excellent way of cleaning out your inbox. Oh, I should read it? Okay. Let me see. Everybody should read it. Let's see. P, I hope this email finds you well. You're one of my favorite folks on YouTube. Thanks for always putting up with my squirrely ass. Your buddy, Tony. Oh, Tony, you know I love you. And your squirrely ass. Most definitely. Thank you. Now I have a squirrel label. Hi, Matt. Welcome. I didn't see you sneak in there. I was too busy trying to show how to set up labels for your email. I have a question for you guys. If you should estimate, if you compare the number of emails coming in to the number of emails going out, what would you say the relationship is? Because if you look at my very messy inbox right now, since I have no filters going, compared to my outbox, sent box, I have 29 sent email since I last cleaned that out, while I have 178 in my inbox. Normally, I don't have 178 email in my inbox. But as I said, since I'm right now working on that tutorial series, I leave everything in there. I took all rules, filters, and labels off just so I can show you how to do it. But I say I write an email or reply to an email, maybe 10%. One out 100 in, yeah, Matt, that's probably more like what I do. Squirrel, 50-50. Okay, so you are married to your email. No wonder you needed those labels to create mailing list. And I hope you have tried it, Tony. It was a little messy, my way of showing it, because I wasn't prepared. But I hope you got it to work. If not, let me know and I will set it up exactly with screenshots for you. So now I can reply to the squirrel mail and show you with screenshots exactly how to do it. I am probably more on Matt's. It works. I'm glad. Thank you. I'm really, really glad it works. Okay, DJ. Oh, yeah, minus junk mail. You receive 100 and send 305, yeah? That's if it is a personal email, someone I know, and let me confess, I won't probably respond to Squirrel or DJ, the two mail I just got from you guys, because I'm talking to you now as I get the email. But if it is a personal email or an email that's not business related, I usually reply right away, even if it's just 2 words. Got your mail, talk to you later. And that is what I should do to you two here. DJ, is that your dad's email address you sent that from? In that case, I won't reply to it if it goes to him. Now I lost my thread of thoughts. My gosh, am I talking backwards again? Crazy. No, I try to reply to all personal or close people emails, or if I get an email regarding my channel, but I don't get any of those. Those discussions are mostly in either it is in the comment section, or if there has been a couple of times where people need more information, more help than I gave in the tutorial, and we have gone back and forth a little bit in the comments. I usually have them contact me on DM me on Twitter instead. And that's also an alternative to emails today, not just texting, but Twitter is something I use, especially if it's something we need more discussion about, or I need to send a screenshot to somebody. Okay, it's not his, so I can reply to it. Okay. I sent a reply. But most of my email in my inbox is things that I'm either not interested in. It's things that have been picked up in the Google universe because I was searching for something and I get spammed with, you know how it is. You go out and search on Google. For example, I was searching for, what are they called? Here we go again. Now I'm Swedish. Tablecloths with the umbrella hole in them. And all of a sudden I got a whole bunch of trash email that ended up in my inbox because it was suggested to buy. I had been in the shopping list on Google searching for those under shopping, and I got mails like that just popping in. So a lot of my inbox is full with stuff like that. And then I actually, this is, I spent a day go through things that, you know, when you surfing the web and that little pop-up pops up if they are if you want to subscribe, and sometimes if it's something interesting I subscribe, if it's a blog site or something. I spent a full day go through all my mail that I didn't want anymore, and actually actively went in and unsubscribed from all those mailing lists. And let me quickly see if I have something here that could be. Dorito, hello, welcome. Nice to see you here. I can't find one of those right now. But you know, if you have, for example, been on a blog site that's interesting, and at the moment you subscribe and you get weekly updates or something. I spent a day go through all my mail, and usually at the bottom they have signature where you have all that information, where they have a link you can unsubscribe. Well, they have to have that nowadays, so at least in nowadays. And oh, what, weren't you talking about him? Were you talking about yourself, Tony? Well, I spent the day go through all my mail and actively unsubscribe instead of just blocking them. I made sure they took me off all those, because those mailing lists get sold, and that's how you end up with all this spam, because some companies buy these mailing lists and you have been on one and soon you end up at all of them. Is that maybe Doritos and the Luca Cabres calling, what do you say? Calling words. Handsome guy. Is it? I don't know. Well, you're the handsome guy, aren't you? What did you say? Oh, that was a long discussion a long time ago. So, if we're talking email versus texting, which one do you use more? Texting or emailing? And when I say texting, I include stuff like DMing on Twitter or Messenger on Facebook or just using the phone's text version? Text? Absolutely. Me too. It's so easy. And it wasn't always like that. I remember when the first SMS started to pop up. And back then we didn't have keyboards. We had those old, when number one was ABC. Was it ABC or ABCD? And you had to write D. You had to click number 1 4 times. And then you had to click whatever number it was a certain number of times. So it took forever to text that way with the SMS. And you saw these young people that texted all the time, that had their thumbs go like, because they were so effective. Eventually we got keyboards, but that was when the smartphone came. Before that, we had to do the old-fashioned clicking on the numbers so many times. And that took time, but it was still faster than, well, back then we couldn't email from our phone because we didn't have smartphones. We had phones that could send SMS, and that was it. So the alternative was to either go on your computer and write an email, or sit down with paper and pen and find an envelope and a stamp, and which nobody, almost never, does nowadays. Let me ask you people, when did you last write somebody a regular pen and paper mail? Put it in an envelope, addressed it, put a stamp on, and sent it. When did you last do that? I'm very curious. And DJ says, for personal, text and email, for special projects. Oh, 3 times. 1 was ABC, 2 was DEF. Okay, thank you. It's so long ago, I don't even remember. But you had to click it awful many times for each letter. So let me know. I can actually, if I'm being honest, I think it was probably 5 years ago since I wrote a paper and pen mail. 5 months ago, before yesterday, sent a package. Okay, so you sent a package to someone and you included a mail, a little letter. That counts. Okay. Applause, applause for Squirrel. 5 months, that's good. So you get applause for that. I must say it's probably 5, if not 10 years ago, I sat down and wrote a letter. And that's a little bit sad, because I know when I get a letter like that, I get so happy. I love to get a letter from anybody. Someone sits down and takes the time. It's so much more personal, even if it's a short letter. That's a great idea. Oh my gosh. Yes, have your kids send letters to the grandparents. 13 years ago. DJ, you are worse than I am. But you are the generation that grew up with the internet, so you are forgiven. But it's sad because it's a special feeling to get a mail instead of an email or a text. And that's an art that I think is getting lost. I don't know if they even teach kids how to do that anymore. I know when I went to school, we learned how to date the letter up in the right corner and how to write your address and how to all of that. I think that's an art that is getting lost with this internet and emails and texting. And it's a little sad. Matt says 1999. So that's, ooh, you are worse. Oh my gosh.
Oh no!
That's for 1999. I don't think pen pals exist anymore. And that's another thing that's disappeared with email. I know I worked at school where we had pen pals, but it was using email. But I wonder if that even exists anymore. Everybody is on Zoom and texting and Granny says, when I was married to my first husband, he was in the Navy. Back then, it was the only way to keep a marriage together on long deployments. I know. I mean, it's not just, I mean, today you have all the other alternatives, but it's a special feeling to get a mail, a letter. Mid-80s and 90s, yeah. But that was just around that time when email started to become the way. Okay. That's acceptable, Matt. Postcards and birthday cards every year. Yeah, but postcards, that's another thing. Now I'm showing the real Pia. One thing leads to another, and we leave the original topic. Postcards, it's actually not easy to find. If you are in a really tourist place, like where I live now, I live outside of Destin, and Destin is a typical tourist place. I can find tourist postcards from Destin. But when I grew up, you could find postcards from even the smallest little village had their own postcards. And we always wrote postcards when we were on vacation, when I was a kid. And no matter where you were, you could find Purple Gang, welcome. No matter where you were, you could find postcards. I tried to write postcards to my family back in Sweden frequently. I tried when I first moved here. And that I moved here in 2002. So it's been soon 20 years. And the longer I have lived here, the harder it is to find a postcard. Birthday cards you can find as them, but the traditional old postcard with pictures of where you are and then you have that little square to write the text in. They are not that easy to come by anymore. Oh, that's really nice. Your sister-in-law sends a type of written family update. That's nice. 5 years ago, you wrote. Was that your class was doing a project? Was it with regular mail or was it email, DJ? I'm curious. We are? You live down here too? Oh, in MS. Yeah, touristy. That's the only type of postcards you usually find today. And I grew up with postcard from every little, I mean, it was a couple of thousand people in a little village or something, and you could find a postcard from there. Yeah, but you know what? It's so funny. I actually went to the post office today. Oh, thank you, Purple Gang. And DJ says it was regular mail. So you have written a mail 5 years ago. A little applaud for that too. Very good. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's a nice tradition to write a letter around Christmas. As I said, I actually went to the post office today. I didn't send a mail. I sent to another friend of mine here on YouTube. Her webcam broke and I had one laying around that I don't use. So I said, give me your address and I mail it to you. And even though I am preparing this, talking about email, talking about mail, talking about that's my world on YouTube right now for a couple of weeks, I didn't even think of writing a letter and putting in that envelope. Matt, nice to see you here. You are always welcome back. I will go on every Monday, same time. And if you guys haven't seen Matt's channel, he does wood carving that is out of this world. I mean, they are fantastic. So if you want to see something, and squirrel, that could be something you could react to. One of the Viking carves he did, for example, you could do a reaction videos of that because his work is unbelievable. That's something for you to look over. I can suggest a video to you if you would be interested in reacting to Matt's carvings. And now I lost my thought again. It's hard to stay focused on what I'm talking about and at the same time really trying to see what's going on in the chat and don't miss anybody. Post office. When I was there, she asked me, didn't I say Tuesday? Oh, DJ, I'm happy if you keep me under control. Every Tuesday on this channel. Monday is on Pixelpia Live, since I have 2 channels. I agree, Granny. If you guys haven't watched Matt's carving, it's out of this world. That's all I can say. Back to my post office story. And that doesn't happen often that I go to the post office, not even to send packages normally. Normally I go to UPS or FedEx or something. But today I went to the post office. Oh, that would be perfect. Matt, let me tell you, Squirrel does reaction videos where he watch a video and reacts to it. And he has quite a loyal, big following. And if some of them would happen to like what they see, I'm sure it would be beneficial from you to if he reacted to one of your videos. I'm not trying to make something happen here between you two, but I really think, I mean, I just love what you do, Matt. Yeah, I went postal. Thank you, Granny. I didn't remember to put letter in the envelope. But when I came up and paid, the woman who was working, she asked me, "Do you want stamps?" And I said, I realized, no, thank you. I don't need stamps because, and now I have to dive into my wallet here. One thing I love that they have done with the post office is that they nowadays have these forever stamps. And the few times I write something that needs a stamp nowadays, my stamps look like these. I have Christmas stamps, forever stamps, and I think I have had these for 2 or 3 years now, and I still have 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 stamps left. So I just laughed and said to her, no, I don't need, I still have my Santa stamp that I use. So if you get something, a postcard if I found it, a mail from me, no matter what time of year it is, it has a Santa on it. I don't even know what the cost of stamps is. I know I bought this because they were forever stamps a couple of years ago. No, I don't have Pokemon stamps. I would love some Pokemon stamps. 3 years old. That seems right. Yes, I think they are 3 years old. And I have them in my wallet, so I don't know why I don't write mail more often. Because I know how it feels for me when I get a physical envelope. And I have somewhere in here, I have a whole box of little cards and envelopes I can use and just send to people. And still, it's so much easier just to send a DM or a text message, or if worse comes to worse, an email. But it's sad. Even though I love emailing, even though I love texting, even though I love everything that comes with this technology, the ease of it, I am a little sad that I think we are losing the art of writing letters. And that went a totally different direction that I had planned for this live stream tonight. I had planned for us to focus on email and the quality of email. But when my thoughts starts to move like that, what can you do? Just go with it. And if you would love to send, no, I'm not going to give you my address. That's another thing. You see, now my thoughts are spinning. You don't have to reveal your physical address when you're using email and texting and all of that. And that's especially if you are on any social platform and you are doing anything. Maybe you don't want your home address out there. And okay, you can use a PO box, but I don't have a PO box. And I don't intend to get one. Oh, DJ, are you here to help me understand the chat tonight? Oh my God, I'm sorry. So, are you telling me there is no Pokemon stamps? You meant that I'm collecting stamps. Yeah, I guess I do, but what I should do is start using them. DJ, what would I do without having you in the chat? You help me understand things. I get, as you have understood by now, I get carried away and I don't stay the track that easily. That's why I love live streams, by the way. I am very staying on track and focused when I do my tutorials. But when I live stream, I try. I have the ambition to start off with the theme, and then it goes the way it goes. Yeah, I agree, DJ. There probably is. I know. I agree totally, Granny. And I touched on that a little earlier, what it has done to spelling, what it has done to grammar, all of that. And I can see where, if we go back to what I talked about when we didn't have the smartphone and we started SMS, that's when we started to use all these abbreviation. CU, instead of writing SEEYOU, it was easier to just have to, because for C you had to hit the number one key 3 times to get the C. If you want to write out the word, you had to really have quick thumbs. So I can see why all of that came around when we started SMSing each other. But at the same time, it's sad that the art of writing letters is going lost. Just like the art of handwriting. I love handwriting. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I love handwriting and I love working with calligraphy, for example. It has always been a passion of mine, trying to write. And as a matter of fact, when I, back in the 80s, became a teacher back in Sweden, when I got my first teacher's degree, the schools in Sweden had decided to change to a new way of writing cursive. When I learned cursive in the first place, it was this really elaborate with, well, you know what I mean. You have seen them in all letters. But they decided to change the way we write cursive in schools. So we were going to teach a new simplified way of writing cursive. And since I was at college becoming a teacher, we had to learn the new way of writing cursive. And ever since, I have been obsessed, because the teacher we had that did this with us didn't just teach us the new way of writing cursive. She taught us about calligraphy. She taught us about the history of handwriting. And I got very fascinated. And I love writing by hand. And I think that is something is lost today too. And it's sad because you can actually look at handwriting as art. A nice handwriting, if you don't want to go as far as to calligraphy, but just a nice handwriting is beautiful. And now I must look back here in the chat. I get on my teenagers about that when they text me. I tell them that people get impressions of them through written text. They don't get it yet. Or maybe, Granny, it's us that don't get it. Language change, and this is the way. But I think we can have both. I think you can have this compacted way of expressing yourself in writing, on texting, messaging, email, but you can also have this more elaborate way, and you can also have handwriting. DJ, I will meet you there. Not tonight, but I will meet you there. And for everybody that wonder what that just was, DJ and I are playing a game together that we just realized we both play. It's called Wizard 1-on-1. And I have played it since 2009. So that's one of my few passions outside of doing this. I agree, Granny. It's a lost art, and it's sad. Yeah, and I don't know why we took cursive away from schools. Well, I know why, because we decided they don't need it anymore. And then we took away art, so they can't even learn it as a part of art anymore. And it's sad. I love handwriting, and I love writing. I mean, I write everything. And even when I do, I just love writing. To come up with ideas, I just sit and write and write and write everything that pops into my head. And you see how confusing that can be. No, you're not. It's just that, and I mean, people that know me know that I am crazy for tech, and I'm crazy for all this communication, using internet, and I have been very active when it comes to internet since early 90s in the schools in Sweden. I was very active, and Sweden was actually pretty quick to use internet in the regular school from early ages. And don't even try it, DJ. I'm not falling for it now. And I have always have a burning interest in technology. But I also love these older, I do things like in crafts, I do tatting. Nobody knows what it is. You use two little plastic shuttles and you make lace by hand. So I really live in both worlds. I do. Yeah, you are right. If I want to write a secret message to someone, I can do it in the really old-fashioned script and nobody can read it. You are right, Granny. That's the advantage we have. Absolutely. But I also see it as art. It's handwriting is not just communication. Handwriting is also art in my eyes. And DJ, you are right. I need to round this up somehow. I have the ambition to stay online for 1 hour and I never hold it. I always go over. But let me try and round this off today. We talked about email. We went into a little bit of practical things with organizing your email and all of that. And as I said, on Thursday, I will have a tutorial up how to use labels and filters to organize your email using Gmail on the web. We also talked about how we don't write regular mail anymore. And from that, we came into handwriting and art and how younger people miss out because they miss that part of expression. It's one other way of expression and communication. And I think it's important that we open all possible ways to communicate, whether it's art, music, writing letters, writing email, texting, all possible ways to communication will always, always help people connect and get together. I wish I had an interest in tech. In high school, my father tried to tell me to learn about computers. He said they were the future. I poo-pooed him. Now I am sorry. Yeah, I am lucky that I don't know where the interest came from, but really early when I would say 96, 97, I had my first in school. This was back in Sweden. I had girl groups that I taught how to build their own computers. We had companies that gifted us old computers that they were getting rid of, so we could take them apart and I could teach this girl group how to build your own computers. And this was mid-late 90s somewhere. I'm not exactly know when. And I have always been lucky that way, that I have had people. I have been surrounded by people from both worlds. I have been surrounded by tech people. I have been my ex-boyfriend back in Sweden was a computer nerd. Then I met what was going to be my husband, and he was a videographer. So from them two, I always have had the tech side. But then I have always had people that are on the art side. And as a teacher, I have always had people interested in writing and art and to complete that side. So I have always had the best of both worlds. And I wish that for everybody that they could get a little bit of what I have. I am very, very privileged that have these people in my little world. And even though I tend to fall more into the tech side nowadays because it is quick and easy and always there. You have it at your fingertips. While sitting down and writing a letter must take some preparation. I should really try to remember to. I mean, if I only write a letter once a week to someone I know what that would probably make their day. And it's not hard to do. So, guys, I thank you all that have been here tonight. This was a very interesting discussion that somehow went full circle in my mind and included both the tech world and the art world at the same time. And I'm so happy that you were here to share it with me. I think we are very much alike, Granny. I actually do. Except I have the tech side too. And DJ, I haven't had it finished yet. I have a couple of little pieces that I still want to film that I will do tomorrow. And then just add some layers of music and other things. But it's almost done. And I will have it up on Thursday. I believe you are right there. A lot of women got a little backhanded when it came to technology. Not today so much. Today, when we have so much more tech in the home, I think women that stay home with their kids have a much better opportunity to get the best of both worlds. They actually live with the best of both worlds, most of them. The tech world at home and the world with the kids and the creativity. But our generation didn't have that. Well, thank you, Granny. I'm so happy to have you here. I'm so happy to have you all here. Granny, DJ, Squirrel, Matt Carves, Purple Gang. Who else did we have here? I'm trying to see. Dorito was here. James was here. I think he went to have his own live stream. And if I have missed anybody, I'm sorry. And I value that you were here. And I think we are gonna end with some music. What do you say? Thank you for being here. And hopefully I see you next Tuesday on this channel, or next Monday on Pixelpia Live, where we don't have a theme for that's just hangout. Here I at least try to have a theme for every live stream. Okay, guys, I'm gonna end with a song called Sorry. As with all my music, this one comes from Epidemic Sound. And I believe that in the description, I have a link where you can try Epidemic Sound for a month free. And it is an affiliate link. So if you become a paying customer, I get a little kickback later on. But if you want to try it, you have a free month using the link in the description. I get all my music from there. And today we're going to end this with a song called Sorry.
time before you go. Someday you'll know. Someday you'll know. You know what I'm going to say? I've been feeling this way for far too long. And now you're gone. Took me away from all of my fears. Kept me away from all of my tears. Now you're gone. Now I'm lost. Finally, I think I can see clearly. I'm in love. Think about me one more time before you say I'm in love. Take me away from all of my things. I'm in love. Get me away from all of my things. I'm in love.
Good night, everybody.